So how, as a fan, I'm curious to know, how did it come about that Lauren Lopez rolls around on the floor as Draco?
Uh, that was a joke that already existed for Draco, where he would uh, like just strut around and make poses. Because I guess I used to do Draco all the time before it became Lawrence. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Draco is sort of, he's one of the main characters that we used to make fun of. Um, he's the one we had a lot of jokes for. And we just liked the idea that Draco was always trying to look cool, but failing to look cool. That's sort of the whole idea behind the pig farts joke. He's trying to impress Harry, make Harry jealous, but it's like the stupidest way to try and make someone feel jealous ever. So with the rolling, it was in rehearsals.
She never did that.
She never did that. Lauren just would go and like do poses and then stumble sometimes because it's like she would get too into trying to do the poses. And during the show, Lauren likes to do this thing to where she pushes way further during the actual shows than she ever does in rehearsals. So
I think everybody just does that.
yeah, so she started rolling on the ground, and in the first couple performances, she did it way more, and we said, please stop doing that. It's weird and distracting.
And then she did it last, and then it's the version that you have, that everyone's seen online.
So back to more serious questions. How would you define success? Do you feel that at the moment your business is successful as it is?
Huh.
How would we define success? I think that I think yeah. I mean, it's so subjective. I think that success, you've achieved success when you're happy with what you're doing. I am pretty happy with what I'm doing, but I still worry about the having content for the company and what we're going to do next. I worry about that a lot. So it's hard to say. There's never a feeling of like super stability, and like it's not like we feel like, there, we made it. We're all done, you know? So it's hard to define that as success. I think that we have been successful in things that we've done. I think that our plays are good. I like them. I think that they are successful and that they have this great fan base. I think the tours were successful. But I think I think that it's an ongoing thing that happens with every individual thing that you do.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes.
No, you go.
I was wondering if you could elaborate on that. How would you want to see the company grow? Would you want more shows with original content or want more than one theater? Essentially, how would you see the company growing?
Well, I think the way that I think that the way that the company would grow would be to become like a theater company or like a production company that produces more content. Right now, we only do 1 or 2 shows a year. Ideally, we would have more than that. It's like we sort of mainly are a YouTube channel. Regular YouTube channels are making videos every week. We only make like a bunch of videos once every year. So I think the company would grow in making more content. So that will have to eventually be more people writing, probably splitting up into different teams, smaller teams, not have everyone work on every single project. Because pretty much, in everything we've done so far, basically all of the same key players have done the same stuff. It's like, we're always the writers and directors and producers, and you know, it's like Joe is always the main character and stuff like that. But it's like eventually there will have to come a time when we don't have 20-person casts, because it's also just like these huge shows are really expensive too. So, you know, for a company to grow, we've got to make more stuff. We probably should make stuff that can travel, stuff that can be successful outside of just our fan base, so that the fan base can grow.
Yeah, basically, to changing. I think we're not going to. It's hopefully it won't be a bad change, and it'll still be in line with everything we've created in the past. But like Nick said, probably wanting to accept content from more people, maybe different types of content, even changing sort of the format of the way we've done the plays in the past, and I'd say so. Yeah, creating more web content, but also interested in becoming more like a real theater company and actually doing a run of a show that people can come see live, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we've already covered the advice for college from Matt, but if either of you, Nick or Brian, has any advice, if you could talk to your college self and give them any advice about what you were doing, what you wish you would have known, what would you say?
I would say, I mean, this is basically what we did, but from the beginning, worry more about seeking out good collaborators and like try and create stuff with your peers. Because I think that is where the true learning experience is going to be. Is when you try. It's, you know, as with everything else, when you try and do something yourself, like we were talking about with the business earlier. When you try and do something yourself, that's when you're going to learn about it. And, you know, it's like, I think from our point of view, every acting student that goes into school is probably in a lot of, like, really bad plays in their first 2 years, you know, and then eventually they go, wait a second, I'm recognizing a pattern here of I'm being in plays that are like this. Well, maybe I try and seek out some other things, you know. And it's not just bad plays, but, like, bad ways of being in plays, like bad productions, you know what I'm saying? So I think that you just need to, the lesson is expose yourself to everything and try and do a lot of stuff so that you can fail enough until you start getting good.
Yeah, it's like we have an incredibly specific college experience because we were doing the theater thing. Like, that's 0.01% of people in the world. So I'd say I wish I didn't worry so much about girls. I concentrated more on artistic, being productive while I had time and didn't have to worry about making money all the time, and paying for stuff. You know, I just spent way too much time fretting about girls that I liked. It was stupid.
I think everyone does that. I'm not sure anyone will be able to follow that advice.
I know. That's the tragedy of the human experience, isn't it?
So this is going to be the last question. It's another fan question. I love all of the plays that you've written, and I thought Holy Musical Batman was awesome. My sense of humor is all puns, so I was cracking up during the whole play. So my question is, was it difficult? Was it stressful to write that many puns for every single villain and all of the candy that you had to have pop for Sweet Tooth? How was writing that? How did that go?
It's fun. Puns are funny and easy to write. Especially, you don't realize how many bird puns there are. With Penguin, we were never hurting for puns. We were like, this is so easy. And if we ever got into a problem about it, we'd say, let's just have Mr. Freeze say, this is cool. And Catwoman, surprisingly, there are a lot of cat puns. It's so weird how many bird expressions there are. Yeah. Birds of a feather, cock of the walk. Like, there's so many you can use. Sweet Tooth is the funnest. It was just a game to take candies and make a pun out of them. So it was like, fun.
Did you guys just look up candies on Wikipedia?
Yeah.
Yeah, there were the candies that we remembered, like the ones that have existed for a really long time are the looks like you guys are up to your old Twix, stop your snickering, you airheads, stuff like that. Then there are the more obscure candies that we would try, that we had to look up. We had a bit of candies, and we tried to use as many as we could, but it's like there's some that you can't use because you can't make a clever pun out of them, like Reese's.
Yeah.
Because it's like, what are you gonna do? It's like that's just somebody's name. Even like a Mars bar, you can't really make a Mars joke.
Or Milky Way, because why would he ever be talking about space?
Yeah.
We tried though, but
That way you could reference Starship and Holy Musical with the Mars and everything if you wanted.
Yes, you could.
Yes, you could.